Let's get started.
Okay, let's get started.
Okay, so I want you to come to your mat, Trinny. We're going to start off with your mobility, as we always do. Really important to always warm up the back, so get that spine nice and mobile.
So we're lying down doing this one.
Lying down, you're going to lie down, and I want you to lie on your side, so lie on your left side.
Yep.
Okay, then have your arms out, so you come into the open book stretch. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale into reach back with that right arm. Inhale, bring that arm forwards, exhale, reach back. And every time you reach back, I want you to try and push that arm down a little bit more so you can stretch out the chest, as well as mobilize that thoracic spine. The thoracic runs from sort of the base of your neck to the bottom of your ribs, or a bit lower. And you want to get that nice and mobile, so when you're in the movement, your muscles are warm, they're going to be nice and springy as opposed to stiff when you're coming into the exercise.
I think also it just wakes up your kind of round, you know, I'm very round-shouldered when I sleep, so
yeah,
I need to open that up just for breathing, for our respiration, which at the moment
definitely.
is so important, I think, to have that working.
Yeah, and that's a really important point as well. So if your chest is really tight, it's more difficult for you to take in those deep breaths. If it's nice and stretched and open, you're going to be able to fill your lungs a lot more with air, and the more oxygen you have, the harder you can push in exercise, especially cardio exercise, because oxygen is your primary fuel source when you're doing cardio.
And I was reading a film, watching a video, Natalie, of this doctor at a hospital just saying the importance of this proper breathing, of doing these 5 breaths, holding it at the top, but just that thing of expanding our lungs, and the fact that when our lungs are at the back, not at the front, so if we're lying on our back, we can't get the full expansion of our lungs. So that's also why I like this. Yeah.
So this is going to prep you. So when you do come into doing those nice deep breaths, taking those nice deep breaths, you're going to be that little bit more stretched out. So, and this is a nice way to mobilize the shoulders as well. So you're getting the shoulders a little more free moving. And you reach up and over the head. So you're creating that big semicircle above the head. That's it. And with this one as well, you want to keep the knees perfectly stacked, one on top of the other. Otherwise, you're going to cheat in the exercise. If your hips start moving back, you're not getting a true stretch for your chest or mobility for your thoracic spine.
So you keep like they're glued together.
They're glued together, and the hips are stacked one on top of the other, rather than the top hip sliding back a little bit. Yeah. Okay, last one. Good. And you're going to lie on your back. Good. Now, I want you to lengthen out your left leg on the ground and take hold of the back of your right leg. So you're clasping your hands around the back of the leg. We're going to come into an active stretch here. Take a deep breath, and you're going to bend the knee, and then exhale, extend the leg, flexing the foot as you extend the leg. You want to push the heel up to the sky. That's it. And what this does is it actually gently activates the quadriceps, but also starts to stretch out the hamstrings a little bit.
And I think lots of people rush out of bed, go straight to exercise, and I just feel that's when I can get an injury, or that's when I also can't exercise my optimum, Natalie, because I'm just not.
Your body's not woken up, you know, you need to get a bit of energy and wake everything up, wake up those joints. Right, last one on that side, and then you're going to switch to the other side. Good, deep breath in, you're going to bend, and then exhale, extend the leg. Good. Someone's asking, do I have to wear trainers for this? No, you do not have to wear trainers. Bare feet or socks are fine. I'm just wearing my socks. And last one, extend. Good, perfect. And we're going to wake up the abdominals a little bit now. So I want you to bend your knees so your feet are flat on the ground. For now, that's it. And then I want you to tuck your hips in. So thumbs on the bottom ribs, middle fingers on your hip bones, and rather than your back being curved like that, I want you to tuck in so your lower back is flat on the mat. Then take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lift your right leg into a tabletop. Inhale, and then exhale, lift your left leg into a tabletop. Okay, hands behind your head. I want you to take a deep breath in. Exhale, lift the chest, tap your right toes on the ground. Good, then lift. And again, lift again. You're going to tap your left toes on the ground. So every time you lift up, one of your legs lowers. So you're activating the lower abdominals, the obliques a little bit, and the upper abdominals too. So we're just firing up the core so it's functioning well for the whole workout.
The thing I always have to remember in this, Natalie, is not to bring my knee too far forward like that, to really be at a right angle.
Absolutely. So the perfect tabletop is a 90-degree angle at the hip and the knee. So if you bring the knees into the chest, you're going to switch off those lower abdominals. You're going to be using the hip flexors just a little too much. Okay, going for another 4. Go for 3.
My lower abdominals, actually.
Oh, great. Last one. I want you to hold your legs in tabletop, lift your chest, little pulses up, little pulses just to really challenge those upper abdominals. Good. Going for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Give those knees a hug, rock from side to side. Now we're going to come into some glute bridges to really fire up the backs of the legs. So the backs of the legs are notoriously lazy, especially with our modern lifestyle sat at a desk. So it's to lift all the way up, then roll all the way back down, Trinny. So nice glute bridges. And if you balance on your heels, you may feel a little more activation through the back of the leg, especially that glute maximus, the big gluteal at the back. And I always like to just quickly put my hands on my butt just to make sure it is actually firing up. It should feel like it's a little bit tense.
Top bit, yeah. Or all of it.
Yeah. The right
you feel that you're squeezing your whole butt doing this?
Yes, you really want to squeeze the whole butt.
Squeeze!
That's right. Okay. Going for another 3. Go for 2. One more. I want you to lift and hold, Trinny. Turn those toes up so you're balancing on your heels. Go for little pulses. In fact, I want you to lower halfway, lift up all the way, going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Roll down. Give those knees a hug. Rock from side to side. Good. And we're going to get started with your first little circuit. We're still going to include more warm-up exercises. So it's not going to be... Yep. So you're going to step to the end of your mat. You're going to have a big stretch first of all. Then your arms come down. And I want you to roll down one vertebra at a time, still getting some mobility into that spine, stretching out the backs of those legs. Then walk your hands on your mat, or walk your hands out on your mat so you're in a high plank position. Now we're going to come into 60 seconds of a dynamic lizard stretch. And I do really like this one. You bring your left foot forward to the outside of your left hand, reach your left hand up to the sky, hand down, foot back, and switch to the other side. So the reason I like this one, number 1, you're still getting in mobility and a little bit of flexibility. By bringing that foot forwards, you're stretching out the hip, so that glute medius a little bit, as well as the inner thigh and the front of the hip, of the leg that is at the back. And with that rotation, you're stretching out the chest, but you're firing up the shoulders and the triceps, as well as the abdominals when you step back into your plank. So there's a lot going on. You've got 30 seconds to go, Trinny. Good, and nice speed. I'm enjoying this speed. You're like a ninja now, Trinny.
Well, I'm much faster than I used to be. Like this, I used to literally pull my leg up with me, you know, underneath my... I used to do this like this, like that, because I couldn't be dynamic. So it just shows how far I've come in not too long a time.
Yeah, so far. Okay, last 10 seconds. Good, going for another 1 more on each side. So you start on your left side, I want you to finish on your right side. Good, and come back up onto your feet, walking your hands towards your feet. Good, have a really big stretch up to the sky, clasp your hands together. Nice, and then we're going to come into some squats. So heels are shoulder width or a little bit wider, toes slightly turned out. If the toes are slightly turned out, you're going to be able to get slightly deeper in your squat. Okay. I want you to squat, drive up, squeeze the shoulder blades together, squeeze the butt. So you lower, drive up. Inhale, you lower, exhale, you lift. And you're just doing this for 30 seconds. And then there's going to be a small hold so we can mobilize the shoulders as well. Set. Good. I'm just going to do the squat to the side so you can see that my back, my hips are really pushing back. And my toes are, or my heels are firmly grounded into the ground, as if you're screwing your heels in the ground. If you struggle to keep your heels down, just lift your toes ever so slightly and you'll be able to keep those heels down on the ground and therefore get more activation through the back of the leg, which is what you want. You've got another 2. Good, last 1. Then I want you to come back down, hold your squat, shoulders set back, chin tucked in, and you're going to come into Y's. Take a deep breath in, exhale, lift your arm. So you create a Y shape with those arms. I like to point my thumbs up to the sky. It just helps to keep my shoulder setting in the position that I want it to be in.
Where are my eyes looking for this, Natalie?
Down at a diagonal, so you're not overlifting the head. If you overlift the head, you're going to cause a little bit of strain in the neck. The shoulders will begin to round forwards. You want to tuck your chin in a little bit to elongate the back of the neck, and then you lift up. You try and keep the ribs down, hips are tucked in slightly. 2 more, Trinny. Last 1, and stop. You're going to stand up now. You're going back into that dynamic lizard stretch. You've got 60 seconds of that stretch. So I want you to roll down, walk those hands out, bring that left foot forwards, big reach up to the sky, hand down, foot back, switch to the other side. Now, if you struggle with this particular exercise, you can do this slowly, or you can put one knee down and then slowly reach up, then place the foot back, bring the other foot forwards and slowly reach up. So you can always modify it to your needs, and you will get better at it every time you do it because that's the way it works.
Keep going, everybody.
Okay, you got 30 seconds. Nice deep breath.
Okay.
Inhale as you come forwards, exhale as you reach, that foot comes forwards, and then exhale as you reach the arm up to the sky. And you really want to be pushing the hips down towards the ground so you feel that you're getting a nice stretch through the front of the hip. Belly button pulled in as you push back into your plank. And coming into the last one. Big reach. Hand goes down. You walk the hands back to the feet. And roll up, big stretch, and then we're coming into those squats again. So nice deep squats, feet, shoulder width, toes slightly turned out, and you get nice and low. Drive up through those heels, pull the shoulders back, squeeze the glutes, inhale, lower, exhale, drive up. And from the side, always work with the breath. You want to exhale on that power where you need that little bit of extra push. So when you're coming out of the movement, that's when you want to breathe. Squeezing those glutes. You're here for another 2. Last 1. Lower and hold the squat, and you come into those Ys. So your shoulders are rolled back, you lift the arms, and then lower. That's it, so staying in that squat. And it's a nice way of isolating those quads as well, and getting those glutes working a little bit harder. You're also going to fire up the back muscles in this one too, so that's really great. And going for another 2. 1 more, and stop. Good, shake off those legs. You've got 1 more round of this, and then you're going to be
Come on,
feeling...
ladies, let's do it, and boys, if you're joining us. Let us know if you're joining us, send those hearts. But this is like a 45-minute workout, stretching afterwards. We're nearly an hour. We're doing it full on today, getting us ready for the week. So if you don't do it tomorrow, you'll still feel you did enough today. Okay.
Okay, Trinny, let's go. Dynamic lizard stretch. You're going to come down. Good, big reach up to the sky, and it's 60 seconds. Nice deep breath. Okay. Good, there's a few people pinning this workout, which is great. They're going to be doing it later. Is this cardio? This does get your heart rate up a little bit. It's not specifically cardio, but it is going to elevate your heart rate because it's slightly faster movement and you're using more than one muscle group. So it's called a compound movement, multi-joint movement, which will have the effect of getting the heart rate up. So it's a little bit of cardio.
I feel my heart rate is way up. I mean,
yes.
Depends how fit you are, but I feel it.
Well, that definitely raised my heart rate, and it's still the morning. Our body's still waking up. So it does get your heart rate up a little more quickly. Okay, going for another 10 seconds now, Trinny. Good, going for another 2. Last one. Good, then walk those hands back to the feet. You're going to come up, and we're going into your squat. So you want to get nice and low in the squat, drive up, squeeze the shoulder blades together, squeeze the bum, inhale, lower, exhale, lift. And I do like to pull my shoulders back when I come out of this squat. I just think it cues you to think about that posture, to engage the back muscles, engage your glute muscles. Good, fantastic. Going for another 2. 1 more. Come down into your squat, hold the squat, and come into your Ys with the arms. Mobilize the shoulders. Good, deep breath in, you lower the arms, exhale, you lift up. That's it, fantastic. Hi, Mum. my mum just sent a message.
Oh,
she's
come
gonna
on, Mum, you better not Natalie's mum. I hope you're doing it with your daughter, darling.
She said she's doing it. She's going to do it later. And she will. She's very good at doing her workouts with us, Trinny.
Okay, brilliant.
Last 2. 1 more. And stop. You're going to stand up. Just shake off those legs. Roll those shoulders back a couple of times.
And you've got to ask yourself, Natalie, when before has your mother done workouts with you 3 days a week?
Never before. Never. She's down in Devon doing them now. Okay, Trinny, we're going to come into a leg exercise. We're going to start off with lower body, then go into upper body. Okay. I want you to come into a nice wide stance. If I step back a bit, maybe you can see me a little more clearly. So nice wide stance, toes turned forwards, and you're going to come into a side squat. Oh, yeah. So you're going to push the hips back, and then drive up, squeeze the glutes. And I want you just to focus on the one side. So we're going to go, I think is that your right side?
This is my left side.
Okay, so let's start off on that side. 30 seconds on that side. Inhale, you push right back. Exhale, drive up, squeeze the bum, squeeze the backs of those shoulders. Good, and you want to feel the weight through the heels, so I'll just do it to the side so your back is quite flat, your hips are pushed right back.
So again, maybe lifting your toe off.
Yeah, so so the leg that is bending, if you slightly lift the toes, you're going to cue yourself to rock back a little bit because you want to activate the back of the leg. Okay, you've got 1 more, Trinny, and then you're going to switch to the other side. So let's go. You're going to lower to that. That's it, and drive up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, drive up.
What's this good for, Natalie? I love to know when we're going.
Okay, so this is for the quadriceps, and you're specifically strengthening the outside of the knee here because you're pushing over to one side, and the glute medius. This one really does fire up the hip stabilizer, which is fantastic. And you've got a knee problem, so this one is that you find this one a little more comfortable, I think, going into that sort of lateral movement. You've got another 3, 2, last one, drive up. Okay, we're going to go into the upper body now. You're going to come down onto the mat so you can lengthen out into your high plank. And we're going for that opposite ankle reach where we're actually adding in some shoulder taps. So you're going to reach your right hand to your left ankle in a downward dog, come forwards, reach your left hand to your right ankle, come forwards, hold there, right hand to left shoulder, left hand to right shoulder. And then you go again. So you're going from an ankle tap to a shoulder tap.
So I do both ankles first?
Yes.
1, and then 2.
Yep.
And then stay up. 1, 2.
Perfect. That's it. And this one really you're going to get a bit of stretch for the back of the legs, as well as challenging the side of the stomach. And you're really working on those shoulders. So you're getting strong shoulders, You're working the back of the arm as well, those triceps. And that's it, perfect, Trinny. So, and you've definitely become more flexible recently. You're really pushing back, you're getting those heels down quite far. So hamstrings are getting more flexible, as well as those calf muscles, which is great. Okay, last 2 repetitions. Good. Tap, tap. Last one, Trinny, I want you to push back. Good, forwards, push back. Then tap your shoulders. Nice. Come down to the mat. You're going to lie on your back for a glute bridge variation. So you're lying down on your back, heels are down, and I want you to have your heels hip distance apart. So your hips, because you're going to come into a single leg glute bridge variation. So first of all, you tuck your hips in and lift both hips up. Then bring your right leg towards your torso, roll all the way down, lift, extend that right leg forwards, bring it back to a tabletop, then roll down again. So you're lifting up on that left side, right leg extends forwards as if you're pushing something out, or pushing something away, bring that right leg back in, roll down. So you get in that static hold, plus you're firing up the obliques on that left side because you're trying to keep those hips nice and level. Okay, so Trinny, between repetitions, yeah, that's it. You roll all the way down, then roll all the way back up, then extend the leg forwards, then bend the leg, then roll back down again. Perfect, that's it. And you've got another 2 repetitions here. Good, lifting all the way up, reach forwards. Nice, and last one. Then bring that knee in and hold 10 little pulses, go for 10. Little pulses up and down. So you're lowering the hips a little bit, then lifting them. So you're really squeezing the hamstrings and the glutes. Good, 4, 3, 2, 1, and roll down. Give those knees a hug, rock from side to side.
Did you feel it, ladies? Because I felt that.
Now we're going to stay on the other leg.
Remind us.
So you just worked the left side, so now you're going to work the right side.
No, just remind us what we're doing. So.
Okay, so single leg glute bridge with a leg extension.
You went a bit quiet.
Oh, okay. So single leg glute bridge. You roll. Keep your left leg towards your torso. You lift all the way up, extend, bend, roll back down. That's it. So I want you to roll all the way down between repetitions. You tuck in and lift up with your left leg in the air. So that left leg stays lifted the whole time. Then reach forwards, bend the knee, and roll back down again. And again, you tuck in and lift up. Extend that right leg forwards, good, roll down, and lift. Perfect, Trinny. Going for another 3. Reach, good. Going for 2. Lovely, and last one, lift. Extend, bend that leg again, little pulses up, going for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and roll down. Give the knees a hug, rock from side to side. Perfect. Now turn over, you're going to do a cat dog stretch to loosen up the back, and then you're back into those squats. So you're flexing and extending the spine just to loosen it up. That's it, and give you a little bit of a rest. Now come to neutral, walk your hands towards your feet, come up onto your feet, and you're going to come into that side lunge. So focusing just on one side first of all. So you started on your left side last time, so let's do the left side first again. That's it, so you're really pushing out to the side.
Oh, my feet are facing forward, right?
Toes forwards, or we call that parallel. So they're like 2 number 11s. Oh, sorry, number 11, just one number 11. That's it, really push to the side. Can people save this to watch it later, Trinny?
Yes, well, the thing is, all of your workouts end up on trinnylondon.com/the blog/exercise. So they will all be there within a couple of days. So all the ones from last week are already up.
Oh, perfect. There you go.
30-minute ones.
Good. Deep breath in, lower. Exhale to drive up. And going for one more. Let's switch to the other side. So you're going to push to that right side. Good. Squeezing the glutes, tucking in when you stand. And it's slower as you come down into the movement. So you've got more control, but you're also challenging the muscles in their lengthening phase, and then faster on the contraction phase. So you need a little more power. Good. Deep breath in to lower. Exhale to drive up. 20 seconds left, Trinny. That's it. Really pushing those hips back. Nice. Last 10 seconds. Coming into it. Driving up. Going for another 3. Good. Go for 2. Last one. And stand. Now we're going into that difficult plank variation, which is really fun. Hands are down on the mat. Knees are down, upper mid-back lifted, then you're going to extend one leg, extend the other leg, and you push those hips back, reach for the opposite ankle, come forwards, and push back, reach for the opposite ankle, hold for a second, you tap each shoulder, and then you push back again. So this really is a fantastic one for your core. It's going to strengthen the whole of the abdominal area, or actually end around your back as well, those deep core muscles, the transverse abdominis. Good.
I think the other thing with this one, Natalie, is when your front way is like this, it's about imagining you have 2 headlights on your hips and trying to keep them going straight down.
Absolutely.
You know, and not twisting your hips.
Yeah, so you really want to keep your hips as still as possible when you're doing the shoulder tap. Because that way you're going to really work the stomach rather than just tilting from one side to the other. You're here for another 15 seconds, Trinny. Good, pushing right back, and then you're back into that glute bridge variation. So
This really is a cardio workout.
This one does raise the heart rate, but it's low impact. You're not bouncing up and down. You don't need to bounce up and down to get that cardio.
But I'm feeling it in my chest, which is good.
Yes, great. Right, and last one. Stop. Okay, you're going to come down onto your mat, lie on your back. And you've got that glute bridge variation. So starting off with that left heel down, right leg bent towards you. Actually, sorry, start off with both heels down and you lift your hips. Hold there, make sure you're stable. Hands are down on the mat, then bring that right leg towards you. I want you to roll all the way down, roll back up again, then extend your right leg forwards, bend that right leg, roll down, lift up, extend, bend, roll down, lift up. There's a breath for every movement. So you inhale to prepare, exhale to lift your hips, inhale, extend that right leg forwards, exhale, bend, inhale, lower, exhale, lift. So that if you work on that breath pattern, you're always going to be taking in enough air, enough oxygen to power the movement. You've got another 2 here. Should be beginning to feel a little bit of burning through the back of that left leg. Last one, bring that right leg back in towards your torso, little pulses up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll down. Give those knees a hug, rock from side to side. And then we're going to go into the other side. We're going to work the other leg now. So right heel is down on the ground. You're going to lift those hips up. Left leg is bent to tabletop. Extend that left leg, bend the left leg, and roll back down. And again, you tuck in, really squeezing the back of that right leg. You can put your right hand on your right butt cheek just to make sure that everything is engaged there.
How low should your leg going out be?
I want your knees to end up in line. So the leg should be no lower, no higher. Your knees are in line. That way you really have to switch on the obliques, which is the side of the stomach. Exhale to lift. Good. We've got 2 more, Trinny. Lifting those hips nice and high. Make sure that left hip stays level with the right. Last one. Extend forwards and bend. Little pulses up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Make sure that left leg is bent towards the chest. 3, 2, 1. Roll down. Give those knees a hug. Rock from side to side. Yeah, feeling that one. Okay.
Feeling.
Turn over. You're going to have your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Cat dog stretch, moving on to a different set of exercises. So normally I give you sets of 3, don't I, Trinny? But today we're doing sets of 2, but 3 different exercises.
Okay, take a sip of water.
Okay, you go for it. That's it. It's a good time to have a sip of water because you've got 60 seconds to recover. Stay hydrated. We're doing this live 3 times a week. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. UK time.
8 a.m. ladies. Okay.
Okay.
What's next, Nat?
Okay, right. Next up, we're going to get the back firing and the abs firing. So we're actually lying on our stomachs for this next one.
Okay.
Coming into some Supermans because we haven't got any equipment, so we have to. So we're lying on our fronts, Trinny. So we're like face down.
Yeah.
Yep. And I want you to have your arms out in a 90-degree angle. We're just going to prep the movement. So you're lying down on your stomach, elbows are in line with your shoulders. You're going to tuck your chin and engage the glutes and just push just the top of the chest off the mat and then come back down again. Make sure your glutes are really switched on. That's going to protect your lower back and your feet stay down on the ground. So you lift and then lower. Shoulders are down.
Are we lifting our hands off the ground?
Not yet, we're just doing the prep work. So just going for another 2, just to fire up those extension muscles. Last
just
one.
Give us an idea of why this is good, Natalie, for the stomach.
So this isn't an ab exercise. This one is a back exercise. It's really fantastic for your posture. So mostly we're rounded all day. Gravity pulls us forwards. We're on devices. And this one really just stretches the front of the body, but also it gets your back muscles working. Really important. Otherwise, you'll just end up with your shoulders round forward, that curved posture. So you want to strengthen those back muscles, pull the shoulders back. And it's, yes, and then you get sort of, you're going to look a bit taller. You're going to have that nice upright posture. And functionally, it's really important to have a strong back. To prevent
and also aesthetically, the reason I say for the stomach, because I think anyone I see with good posture, they're not letting their tummy plop out.
No.
And I think if you keep your shoulders back and you've got great upper body posture, you look, you know, I don't know, it just...
You do, it makes you look younger for sure, you know, having a nice upright posture as well. Okay, I want you to do one more, Trinny, and then you're going to start to lift those arms. So lift the arms, and now lift that upper body, reach the arms forwards, then pull those elbows back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, then come back down. Again, you're going to lift, reach those arms forwards, squeeze those elbows down the back, come down. Good, perfect. Deep breath in, exhale to lift, inhale, reach.
Am I clenching my bum doing this or not?
Yes, you want to squeeze your bum. The reason is to protect your lower back. Otherwise, you're going to hinge too much into the back. You compress your lumbar vertebrae, so they're going to be knocking together, and you don't want to be hinging that much into the lower back. And as a bonus, you get a little butt workout. So you're going to create a nice pert bottom. That's it. Going for another 2. Good. You've got one more, Trinny, and then I want you to hold those arms back, keep them lifted. Little pulses back with the elbows. So little pulses down for 10, 9, 8, 7. Really lift those forearms towards the sky. Good. 3, 2, 1, and stop. You're going to push back into child's pose. Have a rest for a second. So reaching those arms forward, hips down. If you need to, you can bring your heels nice and wide. Sometimes that's a bit more comfortable for the knees, but also for the hips and the back. Good, and then slowly stack up, rolling those shoulders back. And I want you to come onto your left forearm. We're going to come into a side plank variation. So left forearm down on the mat. One foot stacked on top of the other, or staggered forward. So if your left forearm is down, then your right foot is either going to be staggered forwards in front of your left or on top of your left, which is a little more difficult. Then you lift the hips, reach the arm to the sky. We're just going into a static hold here for 20 seconds. Really lift the waistline, set the shoulder down. And this is a nice way of working the shoulder and the triceps without having to do a push-up or anything. You're just working them isometrically. If this is difficult for you, place both knees down on the ground or the bottom knee down. Then you're going to take some of that resistance away. 5 seconds, Trinny. That's it. Really lift those hips. You've got 2, 1, and come down. You're going to switch to do the same on the other side now.
Soon we'll be holding for a minute, ladies. You might already yourselves be very good at the plank. I still have a bit of a way to go. Okay, and boys. Okay.
You're really good at the plank, Trinny. Sometimes I do that plank competition for you, or the competition with yourself, so you can see how I don't tell her how long she's holding it for. I just make her hold it for as long as she can. That's it. Really lift those hips. Lift them nice and high. Because you got to 1 minute 20 seconds in your plank.
In your dreams.
You did. 100%. 100%.
You've got to equal it out.
She's just being modest now.
On this side.
You've got 3, 2, 1, and stop. Right, resting.
What I love is that people are still leaving comments, and I'm thinking how ambidextrous that you could be in a plank. Leaving a comment.
That is true. We know you're working out if you're not leaving so many comments. Right, you now push back into your child's pose for a second. And then come forwards. You're going to come into that cat dog stretch, and then you're going to come into some gentle cardio. And then coming into your neutral spine, walk your hands towards your feet, come up onto your feet. Okay, and we're going to come into little skipping rope. So you're going to use the arms and just jump on the spot. So imagine you've got a skipping rope. This is just going to get the biceps working a little bit, the shoulders working a little bit, belly button pulled in, engage the pelvic floor, knees nice and soft. And you can bounce from side to side, whatever feels good for you. Keep those arms going forwards. In a minute, we're going to change the direction of the arms. And this is just to get that heart rate up. Good, nice and fun.
Come on, ladies, boys.
Use those arms, make sure those shoulders are set back. Good, now reverse the circle of those arms. You're going to change the direction. Nice deep breath. You're beginning to feel that heart rate rise. I'll just come see if there's any questions on here. You can find these workouts on Trinny's blog. So if you're not following along now, go to her blog and it's under exercise. The workouts are saved. Good, perfect, Trinny. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop.
Okay.
Okay, nice deep breaths. Coming into your next exercise. You've got your back into that back extension. So you're lying on your stomach. This time we go straight into it. So you're just lifting the arms and the chest off the mat straight away for 30 seconds. Are you ready? Deep breath in. Exhale, lift those arms, then reach the arms forward, squeeze those shoulders down, and then rest your head back down on the mat. Glutes are switched on, hips are tucked in, and I want you to keep your feet on the mat for this one. So you're not overarching that lower back. So you lift, reach the arms forwards, bring them back and lower. And make sure that you're really lifting the forearms up, because if it's just the elbows, you're not going to get so much activation for the back, and it's going to encourage your shoulders to come into more of a medial rotation, and I want them to come into more of an outward rotation, better for the posture. One more, Trinny, and then you're coming into those pulses. Good, so I want you to lift and hold, little pulses up, good. Going for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Good, rest for a second, you can rest in a child's pose. And then you're coming into your side plank. Good, right, coming out of that child's pose now. Left forearm down on the mat. Static hold for that side plank. 20 seconds, timer is starting now. So you're going to lift those hips, really reach up to the sky, just a static hold, lifting all of your body weight on one arm and the side of your stomach is a really tough thing to do. It's a really difficult exercise. So start off with just 5 seconds at a time. 3, 2, 1, and switch. I'm going to switch to the other side now, Trinny.
Anyone who feels they can't do a plank, just try it. You always feel when you're down here, you won't be able to get up. But suddenly, when you really just say, okay, I'm going to do it, once you're up.
That's it.
Feel up.
You're there. And you can always modify it by bending the bottom leg and letting it rest on the mat. So that's going to take a lot of the weight away and then build up. And that's the magical thing about it. You really feel and see yourself getting stronger. And then you become addicted. So you've got 3, 2, 1, and rest.
Addicted might be a strong word, Natalie.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just... You never know.
The crazy one. Are you ready for that skipping rope?
Yeah, I'm ready. I've got it here in my hands.
Imaginary.
Let's do shack tattoo. Are we getting the rope ready?
And start skipping. Arms forward first of all. That's it. I'll go to the side. You're going to keep the hips tucked in, knees nice and soft, little bounces onto the balls of the feet. Really, and you can turn this into an ab exercise. If you draw that belly button in, you're going to get the stomach fired up. Keep pulling those shoulders back, tense those arms for that arm work. So lots of muscles working simultaneously. And you can bounce from side to side if you want to. You can do little rotations. Make it fun. Now you're going to reverse the arms. So you're reversing the arms, reversing that circle. Keep pulling the shoulders back. Nice deep breaths. Good, perfect, Trinny. How are your knees feeling with this? Okay. Better. Good. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop.
Water, water.
Have some water, and then we are stretching it all out. So we're going into a stretch.
Did you say then we're stretching?
Yeah.
Have we done 45 minutes?
Yeah, well, if we include the stretching, then it's 45 minutes.
What are we on now? That's amazing.
We're at 8:53 a.m.
Oh my God, fantastic. Ladies, didn't that fly by?
Time flies when you're having fun.
Is the most important part, and I think it's too little people. I mean, we don't stretch enough, basically. So what I really like with Natalie is the importance of stretching. Okay, Natalie.
Okay, right. We're going to start off with the hip flexor stretch today.
Yeah.
So I want you to come into your split kneeling position. So have your left knee on the ground, or which knee have you got on the ground?
Left knee. I've got my left knee on.
Great. Hips are tucked in. Squeeze your left buttock so it's switched on. Then reach that left arm up to the sky. Deep breath in. Exhale, lean to your right. And you want to imagine someone is really...
Sorry, am I doing the opposite arm to my leg on the floor?
No, if your left knee is down on the floor, your left arm is reaching. So it's the
same... I've got my right knee on the floor.
Oh, okay. So then you want to reach your right arm up to the sky.
Okay.
And then lean to the left. And this is stretching out those hip flexors. And if they get tight, they can often pull on the lower back, which can feel really uncomfortable because then you get that dull ache in the lower back. So you want to stretch them out, keep them nice and flexible, but also strong, so they're mobile. Then come back to the center. I want you to frame your left foot. So hands either side of that left foot. You're going to push back, flexing the foot, leaning forward so you feel the hamstring stretch out. Come all the way forwards and then reach your arms to the sky. So you're pushing the hips forwards now. Then frame that foot again. This is called a dynamic stretch because we're moving, we're flowing through the stretch. Push back. Good, and then come forwards. Reaching those arms up. And I want you to push back and hold this one, Trinny. So you're going to hold that hamstring stretch. Keep the foot flexed. Or if you want to get, that's going to get into the calf muscles. If you want to focus more on the hamstrings, you can point your toes a little bit. Good, holding for another 4, 3, 2, 1. Come forwards Hands either side of that left foot. Step forwards with your right foot, back with your left foot. We're going to come into that series of stretches again. Tuck your hips in, squeeze that left buttock. You're going to reach your left arm up this time. Deep breath in. Exhale, lean to the right. And don't think of this as just leaning over. I want you to outstretch the side of the body. So you're lifting up and then you tilt to the side. So you're getting in a deeper stretch rather than just collapsing into the movement. Holding for another 3, 2, 1, and come back to the center. Frame that right foot. You might need to move that left knee back a little bit. You're going to push back into your hamstring stretch. Come forwards, reach your arms up to the sky. So you're stretching out your thoracic spine, or you're extending that thoracic spine, stretching out the shoulders. Push back. Good. Come forwards. One more time. I want you to push back and hold that hamstring stretch just for a few seconds here. Good. We added in quite a bit of sneaky flexibility today with those ankle taps, Trinny. So we've actually done quite a bit of hamstring stretching today already.
Great.
Right, I want you to come forward, frame your right foot, step forwards with your left foot, and then just transition yourself down onto the mat so you can lie down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And you're going to cross your right ankle over your left knee. Then put your hands through that triangle and grab hold of the back of that left leg so you can stretch out the hip stabilizer, that glute medius muscle, one of your butt muscles. And taking some nice deep breaths. Holding for another 3, 2, and 1. Switch sides. Place that right foot down on the ground, cross your left ankle over your right knee, and draw that right leg towards you. Taking in some deep breaths there. As you exhale, you want to pull a little deeper into the stretch if you can, but make sure you're not straining your neck or pulling your shoulders forwards. You want to keep them relaxed and rolled back. Holding for 3, 2, and 1. Now I want you to completely cross that left leg over your right leg. Bring your arms into a 90-degree angle with your palms turned up to the sky. Lower your legs to the left and look to your right. So that left leg is crossed over your right leg. And your legs are lowered down towards the ground. So we're getting in that rotation for the back. And this time you should feel a lot more opened out than when we first started the session.
Yeah, I do. It's great.
And then you're going to come back to the center, uncross the legs, cross your right leg over your left leg. Arms are still in that sort of cactus position. Lower your legs to the left, look to your right. Nice deep breaths here so you can relax into that stretch. And come back to the center, uncross your legs, give the knees a hug, rock from side to side. The last thing you're going to do is have a really big stretch. I want you to stretch out your legs on the ground, stretch your arms above your head, and just have a big stretch. So if you've just woken up, you're going to squeeze the bum to switch off those hip flexors, and then bring those arms back down, bend your knees, feet flat on the ground, turn onto your side to gently push yourself up.
And crawl towards the camera.
And crawl towards the camera.
Natalie, that was really fantastic. Give a little clap to
Thank
Natalie.
you.
Thank you.